I just got done meeting with RPM, our third party management company that we hired a few months back, and we had a good lunch on expectations and accomplishments so far since the transition. And then I had a call with one of their portfolio guys earlier on things that we needed, and I sent one of my asset guys down there on a surprise visit, and we sent pictures and everything at 12 o'clock last night. And so when they were done talking, we went through our email and say, hey, well, this is what we found. This is what we found. Yeah, because you know what? It's trust but verify, man. It's like it's quality control. You know, you say you do a good job, and I'm guilty of falling in love with a resume, but I'm gonna make sure you're doing a good job because I got $180 million writing on it. Man, I'm just a kid from a border town, and I went on and had that middle class life that my mom and dad had. And I went on to college, and again, more mentors telling me to have that kind of life. And it wasn't until one of my bosses started monkeying with my commission plan that I decided to look around and try to find a way to offset that money. I stumbled on business radio, which led me into a real estate club. I made a $10,000 investment in my education, and that changed my life. That $10,000 turned into today a portfolio worth $675 million, raised on the backs of $180 million of private investment capital. All retail money, no family offices, no single check writers. To my credit, I've become a 2-time national apartment owner of the year. Our company has earned 19 city, state, and national apartment association awards. And in my time, my other feather in my cap is that I return a lot of money. I've returned $130 million of my investors' money back to them in the last 10 years, and that's been achieved through distributions and 100% refinance events. Yeah, so we started out investing in B and C assets, value add deals. So basically it's me versus you. I think I can do a better job than you. You know, so one of our hallmarks was replacing the air conditions right away, day one, all of them, because you know the number one reason why people move out is air conditions, and the number one maintenance headache is air conditions, right? So I wanted to make sure that we took care of that, and that was the secret to success for us, and that helped us grow our company. So we've transitioned more recently in years to Class A properties. I learned during COVID that I had almost no delinquency in the Class A's that I had, so I've doubled my Class A output from COVID. Selling some of my B and C's because I think as times go on, inflation, whatever, it's going to be harder for my B and C's. So I get rid of some of my older ones, the harder ones to run. And now I'm ready for this next event that's going to come in 23, which I don't think will be as bad as what I went through in 08, 09, 2010. But I think you are going to see some deals go on sale artificially. You only lose money in real estate when you run out of time or money. And I think with interest rates doubling, and I'm exposed to it too, you know, but we have reserves, you know, but I don't have anything coming due this year. And that's the big one. People have deals coming due and they were buying stuff at 4% cap rates, and now they're chasing 6 and 7% cap rates. So, you know, as long as the interest rates keep moving forward, cap rate has to go with them, and they're going to be upside down. So you're going to be able to get some deals on sale. I think that's why you see BlackRock and these other guys, even though they've been hurt by the interest rate exposure, they're raising giant gobs of money. JP Morgan, all of them. You know, Cardone, I just saw he's putting the $150 million rescue fund together, right? And he's going to buy deals. They're all going to buy deals on sale, because I think what goes up with the rates like the way they have the last 7-8 months will go down fast too. But there's going to be a period of time where it's going to sit there. I say probably 9 months, 6 months, and you're going to see rates go back down because they cooled off the economy too much. Like this, what's occurring with the Fed, nobody has seen that ever. I've yet to meet one person that was around at any point where the Fed did what they did throughout 2022, popping rates up, you know, in such a short amount of time. So to me, it was artificial. To me, there's a motive to do it. And I think they can't keep it there. They're going to have to come right back down. And I think those that survive, you know, because that's what it is. We're all putting a bag over our head. We're all checking to see who's going to pass out first. And the one that doesn't pass out will be left to pick up the pieces. And I think you're going to be picking up deals that are significantly less than what they were. Because remember, the rents didn't change. And you might even still see rent growth. But the cap rates changed, which means the deal is worth less. So I can only borrow this amount of money. Right, so it's gonna change it up. So I think, and then that's what's gonna happen. You have a slowdown, which is what's gonna happen. You're gonna have a slowdown with building and construction, and then you're gonna have a ramp up again, just like what happened in recession. They kill building construction starts. We already had a shortage of housing, but now look who's buying all the housing. It's the BlackRocks. It's the big dogs. They're buying it. They know what they're doing. This is a big, larger plan that no one's talking about yet. You know, they did show that they're taking the hit. I believe just like the way the pharmaceuticals blew up because of 2020 and vaccines and all that junk that went with it, I think the financials are going to blow up right now. I mean, like some of my debt is doubled, right? My debt service is doubled in some cases. So I'm paying 100,000, now I'm paying 200,000. Some deals I was paying 200,000, now I'm paying 400,000 a month, right? Like, where's that going? It's going to the bank.
Right.
Nothing changed for them. So I think it's their year to get fat the way pharmaceuticals did, and you know it's I think there's a bigger play at stake here, and you know you got to survive. Well, right now we're not doing anything on acquisitions at all. I think it's stupid. I think you're a fool if you're buying deals right now because every time the rates go up, your deal goes down in value, and you know it's going to go up again. I mean, what is it? December? There's another one coming. And there's another one coming in the spring. Now, what I'm hearing from my mentors is that it may go slower after that, or it may not be any more after the spring, right? But every time they move up, it changes the values. It changes the values. So why would you buy a deal that's going to go down in value? It's like buying a car that's depreciating in value overnight, right? Why would you do that? Your investors are smart. They're going to figure that out. So I don't think you should do it. I think you should wait. Wait until financing comes back around. It'll be fine. You know, so we're just making sure right now that we're focusing on operations. You know, I brought back some guys on my team that were real killers for me in the past. You know, these are like guys that know every detail on their property. And so now it's making sure that I train the management company to do it the way I used to do when I ran my own businesses, you know, my own management company, which again, that's only happened 90 days ago when I decided to get away. And I did it so that I can get into scaling, right? And I can play more of a puppet master role. I don't want to deal with people. Real estate's easy. People are difficult. I don't want to deal with benefits. I don't want to deal with more problems, more people, more problems. I have a 10-person team right now. We had a great Christmas party on Saturday, and I felt I knew everybody's story. And if I know everybody's story, then a piece of me, a piece of my personality, a piece of my expectation and culture is going to flow onto them. But when I was up to 130 6 months ago, I don't know everybody. And I didn't hire everybody. I hired every one of these people here. So they represent me. They fit me, right? And and that's how it was in the beginning days at Rockstar. It wasn't until I got larger that I couldn't be part of the hiring process. So now that I know what I know, I'm like, okay, I've got scale now. Now I'm gonna pay, I'm gonna bring in the very best that I can, people that I hired, not somebody else. I wanna hear somebody to say, you know, like I'm just hiring a guy right now to potentially be a financial person for me. And he comes from the mortgage broker land, right? And he said to me something that I always say to people. He goes, look, I'm well aware I have to kill what I'm gonna eat at night. I'm like, yes, that is what I wanna hear. Because that's what I used to be a sales guy. I was commission based. And I had to kill what I was gonna eat at night or my family didn't eat. And when I heard him say that to me, I'm like, dude, where have you been? Like, you're hired. Let's figure out a number because that's what I want. I want that kind of attitude and mindset on my team. I want killers all around me. Yeah, more or less. I've always started out with property management. I quit my 6-figure day job and I went straight into managing. I sat in that chair, I leased apartments, I managed the make-readies, I learned the rehab. You know, my career started in January of 07. I had my first management company with a partner. That's why I'll never do partnerships again because you cannot have two heads making decisions. It's gotta be one person. So he and I fell out in March of 2011. Rockstar Capital was born. I've gone on to own over 8,000 apartment units, but I've done management every single step of the way. So it's my personality, my culture, what I want for this company. And what happened is, and I had people like that in 2020, I lost my number one. She went off to do different things and we started to lose some culture. So the last 24 months is I'm trying to take myself out and try to find deals and try to find new markets and build relationships. I brought on people internally that weren't me. Because if they were me, they'd be sitting in my chair. And they weren't me. So they brought on their bad habits, their processes, their failed ideas into my company. And I realized about 6 months ago, shit, I am screwed. Because I can't keep growing and do these guys' jobs. So you know what? What is my biggest weakness right now? It's too much. It's got too big. I'm starting over. I don't want to do this anymore. I know what needs to be done. I know what the standards and expectations are. So I'm going to go get the 800-pound gorilla. And I'm gonna let them oversee it, but I'm gonna inject in them, into those key people that run that company, my personality, my expectations. So that's what I'm doing now. Now I have, I have weekly calls, sometimes twice a week with them. We go through numbers. I have my asset team, which are basically former regionals that were kick ass for me, and they're going to their sites and they're overseeing. They're making sure that they're doing what they need to be doing. What does that mean? That means walking the property. That means taking pictures. I don't want anything unsightly. I don't want to see, trash everywhere. I don't want to see graffiti on the fencing. I don't want to see, sheetrock damage in the gym or the washrooms. I want to make sure units are to a certain standard. I want to make sure that the leasing agents wake up and they stand up. They're not showing up in sandals. I caught one in sandals. Done. You're written up. That's unacceptable, because that's what you're doing when I'm not around. What does my property look like when I'm not around? If I'm walking it today and you don't know that I'm supposed to be here, this is what it looks like every single day. I'm sorry. If you're wearing sandals for my mystery shopper, you're wearing sandals for everybody. You think it's okay, but here's the problem. Somebody who you work for thinks it's okay too. And so does that person that works for them. So my whole thing is I'm going to have a come to Jesus meeting with the management team. I was like, this is a reflection of you. You're a reflection of me. So I'm going to instruct you, I'm going to educate you, and I'm going to correct you to do it my way. And my hope is if you're the right person, you will teach the people underneath you to do it the right way. Because this is a whole reflection of you, and that's not who I am. You hire with heart. You hire people that maybe they don't have the best education. Maybe they're not a 4-year degree guy, but they have want to. They have whatever it takes attitude. That was our motto back in the early days, whatever it takes. I want people that are going to stick it out. I want to know who I'm going to go take into that foxhole. And I'll let you make your mistake. I will correct you. And if I hired right, if I picked right, you don't want to disappoint me. You want to do it right. So you'll learn. And if you do it wrong again, then we'll have a conversation on why you did it wrong. When I had a call today, I was there dealing with somebody who used to work with me, who works with another company. I was so disappointed because you're better than this, but it's because you don't have the right mentorship and leadership above you. I'm going to fix that. You're going to get back to my standards. That's why I brought in 2 people that used to work with me that are just, killers. And they know exactly what it takes. They drove all the way out there 3 hours south on a Sunday night so they can show up there Monday morning at 8 o'clock and see, what do we look like in the morning? Are we ready to go to work? What time? I found out one property doesn't open until 10 o'clock. I had no idea that was going on. I found out other properties don't have models. I believe in the model. You got to have a controlled model, right? Where everything looks the way you're representing your brand. These are my finishes. You can't just have a vacant unit. You got to have a model. Somewhere along the way, somebody removed the model. Did not know that. So I'm going back to basics now that I had this management company. I'm going to train this management company to be better. I promise you, they're going to win as much as I'm going to win from them. They're going to be a better management company because I'm the best owner there is out there. I know who I am. That's why I have the skins on the wall. That's why I'm the only 2-time national owner of the year. I know what it takes. I just cannot be everywhere anymore. I'm too big now, but I got to get the people in the right spots that emulate my soul, my spirit, so they can go out there. And I'm telling you, I brought these guys back, and the first event was the Christmas party we had on Saturday. And man, it felt like home again. Everybody remembered it because I have a lot of people who came in different times, right? But these were like the guys that were out in the field. They tell the stories. And everybody either documents the stories or reports the stories, and everybody's just remembering all this, right? It was such a great culture blast. It really was that blast from the past of what we used to be like. And we're going to get to there, and we're going to get there real fast now because I do have this 800-pound gorilla that has that processes and the procedures that I didn't have. I was mom and pop. I went really fast. I didn't document everything. I didn't have the procedures. It was all in one person's head. And when those people leave, you lose that quality standard with you. So we now have it back, or now we're beginning to have it back. Well, again, the air conditioner is a big deal, right? Because people, you don't want to move out. You make all your money when people renew, not when they move in. It costs you money when they move in. Right? You got vacancy loss, you got marketing costs, you got make-ready expenses, a variety of other things that you have that you don't even think about. But if they renew, you don't lose. You make $50,000 on NOI because roughly $3,000 to $4,000 of NOI divided by a cap rate, you're anywhere between $50,000 to $80,000 depending on what cap rate you use, right? So that gets you what you need. That gets you the refinance numbers later on. Then you have great reviews because people are like, man, they put a brand new air conditioner in my unit. Somebody, if it's 85 degrees outside and it's 80 degrees in your apartment, you're going to move.
For sure.
And we're in Houston. It's 105 outside most days, right? So that air conditioner needs to be brand new. Most renters don't get that. They never get a brand new air condition. So when I'm doing my big rehab, I make sure that every single resident gets a piece of the pie. They have a little bit of skin in the game so they don't feel like I'm only taking care of the new residents or only taking care of this. They're gonna get something tangible in their thing. And then I'm gonna make sure that when I come for renewal, I take my white pad with me. I'm like, hey, let's talk your renewal. I'm gonna deliver it in person. And they're gonna fight me, of course. But then I'm like, hey, well, I'm gonna change this out. I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna update that. And like, okay, I'll renew for $100 because you just put a new air conditioner in, or you just maybe updated my appliance, or you take care of this hole in the wall for free that I did, right? Me as the renter, that I did that. Now you're not gonna charge me, you're gonna do it for free as part of signing the new renewal, right? It's adding a human piece. That's what I do. I bring heart and I bring the sales component. Let me create value for you so you have no choice. I guilt trip you into staying because you know you're not gonna get this anywhere else. And that's what it is. So I got to get what's in my head and my heart into my people's hearts and heads. And they do that. I don't want you sending an email with a renewal offer like you're a faceless name, just a number. I need you to go knock on that door. I need you to walk through the renewal with them. I need you to make them feel important. Let them talk to you, and then get them to do a review online so that other people realize, hey, this is a great company. See, we got to get back to a lot of that. That's what made us great. That's why I was a 2-time National Owner of the Year. At one time, I had 20 properties, and I had 4 that were ranked in the top 1% for resident satisfaction. That's 20% of my company. I mean, that's 25% of my company right there. That was a big deal. Actually, not 4, it was 5. Excuse me, 5. That's what I'm doing there. It was 20% of my portfolio was ranked in the top 1% for resident satisfaction. And it's because we had that mindset here, and then it gravitated to the next level of leadership, and it made its way down. And I'm gonna get back to that. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of times people say, oh, I think I missed the boat. I was like, you're right. You probably should have invested yesterday. But the next best time is to invest today. But before you invest in anything, invest in yourself. Get education, get mentoring, get somebody to send you the map. Get somebody to say, hey, here are my errors. These are the fires that I went through. Don't go that way. Here's the way through the map. Here's the way through the forest. Here's the map. Here's the lantern. Don't go that way. The snakes are over there. Don't go that way. The lions are over there. Go this way. There's nothing there but birds, right? So I do a lot of that. When every one of my messages on my social media, I try to give value as much as I can. So if you're watching, please find me on YouTube. I'm great. It's Apartment Rockstar. We got videos that we load every single day. I do a bunch of stories and videos on my Instagram at Apartment Rockstar. So please contact us there if you want to just see what it is. We get tremendous amount of value. If you're interested in investing or some one-on-one coaching with me, we can do that. You can hit me up at investing@rockstar-capital.com.